Hidden Potential by Adam Grant. Adam Grant is a top-rated organizational psychology professor at the Wharton School. He rolled out and has crashed some big waves with his previous work, Think Again, that caused people to literally think again about some things. Some people had issues with it, like preachy, left-leaning political undertones and the rehashing of content that has been beaten to death by the self-improvement genre since the self-improvement genre was beaten to life. But how is this book different? What does hidden potential mean? Is it just discovering what we didn't know about ourselves and what we're capable of, or is it a little bit more than that? What makes me wonder about this is that Grant is not just some inspirational speaker. His level of research, say what you want about him, is very, very impressive. In my experience, that's the thing you're going to find with a lot of these more like Ivy League school professors. Whether you like their books or not, it is hard to argue with that. So let's talk about all of this and more regarding hidden potential. Just so you guys know, there are affiliate links in the description, and if you buy anything through those links, like maybe this book, then I get commission, which helps me build this channel to keep making these videos. You can also find this book and many other ones on my Amazon storefront. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam, and I want to make self-growth normal, because people shouldn't have to look this information up. It should just be mainstream knowledge. If you agree, then please make sure to smash that like button. The prologue involved a conclusion by psychologists that massive amounts of motivation, determination, and just overall energy, they aren't just natural, and they don't just come with a person, but rather a person can accumulate them in the right environment. The gifts are homegrown and homemade, and we really underestimate the amount of ground that can be gained and the amount of talents that can be learned. An example they have of this was a guy in chess named Maurice, who, this is completely insane. Every time I read it, it's harder for me to believe. He has played 10 games against 10 people at the same time and won with a blindfold on. It just sounds totally unrealistic when you say it out loud. This dude, Maurice, he personally believes that character is more important than talent. He said that he has seen very talented people fail, and that to really make a breakthrough requires character. The thing is, I always imagined you can build talent using character, but not the other way around. This guy would teach kids to play chess backwards. Like, he would start a game from the end and then bring it toward the beginning to reverse engineer things and show kids that character in the form of results before showing them how it all works from the start. So then they get hooked, and whenever they lose a game, they just want to win. Writing this book, the author met people who progressed far beyond their starting points and uncovered their hidden potential in a wide range of settings, from underwater and underground to mountaintops and even outer space. Moving into the first chapter, he emphasizes and invites us to embrace the differences between technical skills and character skills. Chapter 1, Creatures of Discomfort, embracing the unbearable awkwardness of learning. He talked about language learning and comedy in the beginning of this chapter. Something I noticed pretty early on in the book that I'm a huge fan of is that the author uses many audio samples in the audiobook. I only listen to audiobooks on this channel. Samples of other people talking, music in the background, and it adds so much dimension and imagery to an audiobook. He doesn't overdo this, in my opinion. I haven't heard this too much. I feel like it's a newer thing. This is something I first noticed in Malcolm Gladwell's Talking to Strangers, so it's only been out for like a couple years now. But one guy learning a language measured his progress by the amount of mistakes he made, which is that's a cool way to measure your progress. His goal was to make 200 mistakes a day. And at some points in the process, he introduced himself as the wrong gender. He said he was attracted to a bus, and he accidentally told someone that they have a nice arse. Chapter 2, Human Sponges, building the capacity to absorb and adapt. The biggest thing Grant touched upon in this chapter was feedback, and there were some interesting perspectives that I hadn't heard before that I got from it. If you're looking for feedback on a presentation, for example, ask people at the end if there was one thing I could do better. What would that one thing be? There's a very sales-like presentation to the way that this question is phrased. Also, that there's a sweet spot that comes from between the health of you and other people, because not all feedback is the same. Some feedback is more helpful than other feedback. And just hearing that, I'm sure you could probably think of some examples you've heard over the years. Chapter 3, The Imperfectionists, finding the sweet spot between flawed and flawless. The author talks about his personal experiences with perfectionism and how it takes expectations to a whole different level. One thing that really stood out to me about this chapter was when they talked about the disadvantages of perfectionism, which I've never heard about, except for Brene Brown. She'll talk your ear off about the disadvantages of perfectionism. Certain ones I never really heard before, like trapping ourselves in a spiral of tunnel vision and error avoidance, avoiding unfamiliar situations. And I didn't know that the perfectionism, also the spike of it in our society, started in like the 90s. Well before social media. It seems like a lot of this book with learning curves is focused on this concept of a sweet spot. maybe between, listening to and not listening to feedback, or perfectionism versus imperfectionism. Chapter 4 is transforming the daily grind, infusing passion into practice. This chapter discussed what I kind of took in as how to make skill acquisition fun. The key to this is what the author called deliberate play, which is, it's kind of like how we played sports when we were kids. We would do it for fun. So it's like getting good at this sport for fun. It's primarily a sports term, of course, but if you play, say, the violin, try learning how to play songs backwards or something like that. Just things that no one really does. If that is not deliberate, if that is not going out of your way deliberately to go ahead and do something, I have no idea what it is, at least when it comes to violin. Not that I played the violin, but Chapter 5 is Getting Unstuck, the roundabout path to forward progress. Skills don't grow at a steady pace. Improving them is like driving up a mountain. As we climb higher and higher, the road gets steeper and steeper, and our gains get smaller and smaller. When we run out of momentum, we start to stall. It's not enough to step on the gas. Our wheels are spinning and spinning, but we've stopped moving. What some people say about a lot of things that have nothing to do with performance, sometimes, it has to get worse before it gets better. An old manager of mine told me that, when your sales go down, you'll get a few like quick streaks where you start to sell quite a few of them in like a week or something, and then it'll go back down again. And eventually you'll break through to a better place from where you were before. And I've observed this since he's told me, and I'm like, dude, this guy is Yoda or something. Obviously, you have to continue to try in the meantime, but Chapter 6 is Defying Gravity, the Art of Flying by Our Bootstraps. I don't really understand what he means by flying by our boot. What's a bootstrap? What the hell is a bootstrap? Bootstraps. It's a front-end framework. Oh, it's a CS. Oh, it's a software tech thing. Here, let me see this. Okay, well, I'm just seeing a bunch of pictures of it. Oh, I'm just seeing a bunch of pictures of the logos.
So that doesn't really help me.
Bootstraps? Okay, so the bootstrap is that thing in the back of the boot that you pull to get your foot into it easier. Okay, so you're flying by that and you're okay, never mind. Okay, I got it. All right, guys, don't worry about it. I understand it. You probably understand it with me because I took the time to be an idiot around you guys. So this chapter went over teaching and coaching, and it had a bunch of insights in it that I never considered, like how giving others motivational advice is more helpful for us than it is for us to hear it from others. And in Chapter 7, this was the Hail Mary for me. This chapter was easily my favorite. Every child gets ahead, designing schools to bring out the best in students. Here you learn about the PISA test, a test in 10th grade reading, math, science, and literacy that is a study that evaluates the quality of educational systems worldwide. Just see how these countries have been doing teaching their students. Have they been doing a good job? Let's see. Let's give them the PISA test. Nothing is more vital to our future generations than the quality of the education that these kids are getting. Would you agree? In 2000, the favorable winners of this would have been, Japan or Korea for their study habits, but the winner wasn't even in Asia or even in one of the educational superpowers of America or Europe, like Canada, the United Kingdom, or Germany. It was Finland. Yes, Finland. Like Patrick screamed in that one episode. How did they do it? Like why did Finland have such an extraordinary leap in results? There are multiple reasons, but a lot of their success stems from the culture they created, where no brain is wasted. Education is play-based. You are allowed to choose what books you read and which ones you do book reports on. Teachers focus on every single student, and repeating a grade is very, very, very rare. But this is all proven to result in high quality teaching, deeper learning, lower stress and test anxiety, wouldn't you like something like that, and improving focus and early developed character skills, paying off over time. I can give so many different examples of this from other books like The Town of Roseto from Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers, Brazilian Soccer from Daniel Coyle's Talent Code, or basically the entire book Startup Nation by Daniel Senner and Saul Singer, where it's like, how are they even doing this? But I love that the author used this example of Finland because of what we said about the importance of education. I will say that this chapter made American education sound like a total dumpster fire in the sense of how it can be improved, but I think that's a good thing. Imagine what America and the rest of the world would be like if that's how it treated its students. Chapter 8, Mining for Gold, Unearthing Collective Intelligence in Teams. What is done here is a harsh way to put this is the bashing of narcissistic leadership and how it's basically, anti-hidden potential, anti-character skills, anti-longevity, and anti-progress across an organization. And then Chapter 9 is Diamonds in the Rough, discovering uncut gems in job interviews and college admissions. I love this one. The diamond in the rough is basically a perfect candidate for a job position in disguise. The most beautiful story about this was told about a guy named Jose who went from picking strawberries on his family farms to becoming, I'll let the book tell the story, but it was touching. The author talked about his experience afterward, which was also nice to hear, about getting accepted and going into Harvard. I love the part about the magic trick during the interview he had. But something I don't know if I mentioned during my Think Again review is this dude's narration. He has this giddy, peppy, nasally voice that, I mean, describing it, if I heard that, I'd be like, that sounds like it'd be so annoying. I swear, it is so delightful. The entire time he sounds like he recorded it with a smile on his face. And it was definitely contagious. If you can't tell by the review, it's definitely contagious. The insights and studies, guys, in this one they're just like the ones in Think Again in terms of quality, especially the research. But the thing I love about this book is that it's like everything Think Again has in a different concept, minus the political biases and everything people didn't like about Think Again. I don't know what the hell happened, but this dude is probably one of those rare authors who takes negative feedback and actually makes something out of it, which is refreshing. Same goes for citing other older works in self-development like it's still some groundbreaking research. Some older well-known studies in this one, he actually kind of politely ripped a new one for, like the famous marshmallow study or experiment in adolescent psychology. Overall, I love this book. I think Grant did a fantastic job. I'm very glad I decided to give him a second chance. Seriously, guys, don't be afraid to give an author a second chance. You never know what they will come up with. Quotes: "Make more mistakes than others make attempts. Nothing in this book was written by AI, although that's something an AI would say. He honed his drawing skills by tracing over sketches of buildings until the pages were black. It's impossible to please everyone. The question is whether you're letting down the right people. When our performance stagnates before it improves again, it declines. The more you know, the harder it is for you to fathom what it's like to not know. Those who can't do yet can learn by teaching. We worry about making our parents proud, but we should be worried about making our children proud." Direction 1. I recommend this book for anyone who cares about getting better at what they do, but doesn't want that like basic, visceral, rah-rah motivational talk from a book. Someone who wants actual information on how to get better, and I'm talking like substance, real studies, and thorough, up-to-date research. Direction 2. If you like this book, I recommend checking out Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle, and Ultra Learning by Scott Young. Hidden Potential by Adam Grant. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check out and read the reviews. That and all the other books that I mentioned in this video if you want to check those out too. If there are any other books that you guys want me to check out and review, please let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if you checked out this book and you liked it. But hey, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because I don't get why people watch this far into my videos and they don't subscribe. But if you have subscribed and you want to turn it up just a notch and turn on that notification bell to get a notification whenever I drop new videos, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You can find me everywhere and I will see you then.